Sunday, December the 16th, 2012, and I'm down in Surrey, Sunningdale. Today I've taken advantage of the new overground link from Wapping to Clapham Junction, and then on here to Sunningdale. That new link's going to provide easier access for me to some of these southwestern walks. So here we are today doing book one, still tidying up the book one walks. Book one, walk 18, which is Sunningdale to Windsor, about 10 miles through the park. And again, we've been blessed with the weather after yesterday's grey, damp conditions. So here's the porter cabin that is Sunningdale, rather surprisingly actually, in leafy Surrey. The porter cabin that comprises Sunningdale station. It's about 11:15. Let's say 10 miles to do, so should just about be done by nightfall today, which is due at 4 o'clock. Rapidly approaching the shortest day. In fact, today marks my last walk of the shortest period of daylight. Because obviously next weekend, Christmas weekend, it will be a couple of minutes lighter. Fantastic. Let's press on. Hope it doesn't rain. There's a slight shower forecast later on, but fingers crossed. So here we are, referred to in the text, point 1. Don't do a right here, but continue straight on to Dry Arch Road. Plenty of birdsong around today. Wonder if I'll get sight of the elusive bullfinch. Crossing over the stream with the recreation ground there in the distance. Having just crossed over the bridge, you do a right. Don't continue straight on. Passing the recreation ground mentioned in point 3 of the text. I'm about to cross the rather busy B road, the 383. Holy Trinity, Sunningdale. Pleasantly enrobed in sunshine. There's absolutely hardly any wind today. The predicted forecast was for a 5-knot south-southwesterly, but as I speak at the minute, luckily I haven't had to put my gust buster on to keep the noise out. Turning half left up Whitmore Lane towards the bowling club. I notice these cottages each have their builders' names on them. Rather interestingly. Point 6 of the text, leaving the road, going through this gate and onwards. Point 7 of the text, entering Coworth Park. Which you can Google if you so wish. Apparently it's got some large polo playing fields, pretty much in keeping with this area. Amazing, you wouldn't know that pond was there until you hit it. Suddenly appears on your left. Lots of Canada, I believe they are. Wind's starting to pick up now, funnily enough, as soon as I mentioned it. Not a swan in sight today though. thrush down there that's been startled or for some reason some flying off. Looks like a large missile. Wonder what's happened to him or her. Very odd. Just sat there next to the roadside, as you can see, beside this hump. Clearly dazed. So here we are, latest score no doubt, 2-1. And the polo field's in the distance there. Also in the distance, and not too far distant, is the hum of jets coming out of Heathrow. As you'd imagine in this area, we're going to be very much under the flight path shortly. Probably the one negative about this walk, I guess. Well, there you go. Sense of humour in here as well. As we approach the busy A road just ahead. Looks like this sign's been stolen from Ascot. Or generously given. Who knows? Clearly a number of functions going on in this place. Entering Black Nest car park, and there's been some slight adjustment here to the route we should follow, as you can see from this ticker tape. Well, perhaps you can't at the minute, but this ticker tape is stopping us going the way we should go per the instructions, and it looks like that it's been cordoned off over there where we should be following, so this could be a bit of an issue. Let's see. All that's happened is that they've constructed a new gate, closed that old entrance down. Collection of fungi prohibited, eh? Interesting. All safe for Charles, no doubt. Information board about the royal landscape. Savill Garden, Valley Gardens and Virginia Water. This one's for you, Trace. Knew I'd get down here finally. So here we are, in the royal grounds. So here we are, reaching Virginia Water Lake, which is quite busy as it goes. Not sure that's going to impress me too much. A glorious morning though. Information board about the 5-arch bridge, built between 1822 and 27. I believe we're crossing over that in a second. 10 of the text, it now being 12:15. Refreshment bar there available for those that want an early respite. Is down the water from just beside the 5-arch bridge, which incidentally isn't the original one. per that notice board I just read. This one's been stood here for 180 years because the other one dilapidated. You can tell by the stillness of the water that the wind's died down a touch. The far banks. As I think I've noticed on other walks, or noted on other walks, good year for mistletoe this.
Look that way, you haven't really gone that far, have you?
Westerly view from the bridge. That's on the left hand side, by the way, as you're walking on. I.e. that way. A faint path here next to the lakeside which we're now about to follow. The way the instructions have been written as I film this just in front of Lakeside Cottage takes you away from the mass of people, which is good. Point 13 of the text, heading towards the wooden barrier. Crossing between the upper and lower lakes, this one being the upper on my left, and the lower on my right, against the sunlight, so probably not coming out too clearly. Right, then a left here to go up to Valley and Savill Gardens. Having just crossed over the between the lakes there, entering Valley Gardens.
Okay. We'll go over the hill, probably we should turn left.
Point 17 of the text, doing a right here, following this grassy path by that nice bench. Downhill. Very pleasant in here, I must say. Very spring-like conditions at the moment as well. Easy walking on sandy paths. This kind of T-junction, you don't go straight ahead. And you don't turn right there, which would lead back to post 28, but you turn left here, slightly uphill. And opposite these nice Scots pine, you go down, continue down the car-wide grassy track towards the lakeside edge, I believe. Plenty of rhododendron about in here, of various kinds. Well managed though. It's the sandy track referred to in point 18, 30 metres forward. We're turning off left here along this car wide track. Jay up there, up to no good no doubt. Lovely bird. Point 21, just come out by this oak tree and we're headed for those steps over there. With some works going on nearby. Much quieter over this side of the park, thankfully. apart from the jets obviously. Clearly some works going on here, broadening the channel down to the water. Uphill through Azalea Valley, and you will now note the increasing cloud in the sky, so it looks like the weatherman might be right with a shower due end of the afternoon. Hopefully that's when it will come. Branch off right here, 145 degrees, by this tall pine. Very well manicured woodland of point 23 of the text by the yellow topped post. Point 24 of the text, Valley Garden, and up ahead there you've got the Plunkett Memorial, which can be further researched on Google, I'm sure. With views down to the water. And steps for our onward journey. 27 by this red topped marker, the three-way junction. Our onward journey is sharp right here, down that way. Point 27 of the text, views down the Punch Bowl, with the sun against me as usual. Not sure why the text calls this a Wellingtonia tree, because it's a sequoia, giant redwood. As far as I know, they're not called Wellingtonias, but who am I? Usually wrong. Point 29 of the text, we approach the totem pole. Now at the totem pole. Information board about the creation of Virginia water by the Duke of Cumberland. Information about the creation of the totem pole and the various sections of it. Nine of the text refers to no footpath across the grass, which there now is, and a four-plank footpath, a four-plank bridge across the stream. Clearly things have changed since the text was written. Almost by accident I've found the Obelisk Pond, because following those changes to the text, the way is slightly confusing, because the bridge is no longer where it was, etc. But just follow the tarmac road to Savill Gardens and you'll get here. There is the obelisk in the distance, which no doubt we're going to pass in a minute. Lovely and tranquil here. Look at that for a mirror. and from another angle. So here we are at the obelisk. And very close by there's another one of those burger coffee joints with a couple of tables there as well. Crown Estate vehicle next to it. Information board here about the obelisk, built in the early 1780s by King George II. Bit of Latin there for Boris to translate. Could have a go myself. Let's have a go, eh? Nope, can't make that out. Over to you, Boris. Not sure why there's an owl stuck on the side here. Time for lunch, methinks. Oh, which one shall I take? Pleasantly situated away from the crowd, you got all these picnic tables, or better still, with a lakeside view over there, there's a solitary chair, just made for a solitary walker like myself. Yeah, let's go for that. This week's bench dedicated by Jeanette Yakubian, 2001. And a very pleasant vista there is. 2 o'clock, lunch has been had. Rather pleasant way to travel through the park. Just confirming who built the thing. I believe has replaced the Savill building, or Savill shop and garden. Things have developed on since the book was written, clearly, so I'm presuming that as soon as I can't see any other building, that this is it now. This is also the start of the carriage rides. Okay, walking down Rhododendron Drive. Point 34 of the text. I've just realised I haven't got much battery left. Reason being the cold temperature suddenly got a lot colder, so I better stop yakking and more filming. Cow Pond, which as I speak actually has a thin covering of ice on it, rather than an abundance of water lilies. Temperature has dropped, it's noticeable. This wasn't forecast, I'm sure. There's a new observatory here next to Cow Pond, opened this year, commemorate the Jubilee. Point 37 of the text refers to a tree trunk to get across the stream. Thankfully it's now a bridge. Keeping the bogs and water on your right. Point 37 again. Very marshy over there. And in right to follow the sand-covered horse ride. Point 37 again refers to a faint footpath with a bridge, a faint path with a bridge over this little dike. There is no bridge any longer. So I just leapt over it anyway, and there's the pink gatehouses of the Royal Lodge over there. There we have the pink gatehouses, decked out with holly. Royal insignia on the wall over there. Plenty of parakeets in here. I believe this is the correct entrance to the deer park. Slightly different directions to the ones in the text, but let's see what happens. Distant views of Windsor Castle there, which is worryingly quite a long way off. So I hope I'm on the right track. Further fine views of Windsor's Great Park from a point near the Copper Horse statue. Can't see any flag at the moment to see if Mum's at home, but I'm sure she is. Although she could be off to Sheringham very shortly if she's not gone already, courtesy of First Capital Connect. There is the Copper Horse statue. Now this is a bit of artwork. I don't mind being in the countryside, because I don't really call this a countryside. It's in someone's back garden really, isn't it? Albeit a rather large back garden. But no problems with this. With a bit of a polish though. Interestingly, he's pointing towards the castle. Don't know if that's a deliberate thing. Pointing back home. As far as I can make out, we're about 50 metres high here. And that Three Castles path that I referred to, marked on the map, is obviously a new walk that's been introduced since the original text was written. So that is correctly called the Long Walk. A couple of recent removals there in the Chestnut Avenue. I wonder if they fell victim to the leaf miner. Very sad. Hopefully they'll be replaced. Looking back at George there, up on high. In the setting evening, twilight. We are in the deer park. And that's my first sighting of the deer today. Big beasts, aren't they? A couple of stags in there. And that helicopter in the background, I'm just wondering if that's dropped off some of the royal family. Landed in the grounds anyway. All will be revealed in a minute. One of the royal lodges here, built in 1909. Looks unoccupied at the moment. As I leave the deer park. So just as I reach the gates of the castle, it's about 4:15 and the heavens have opened. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do any more filming, unfortunately. Okay, the shower's left off. Here we are in the High Street. An old Georgian letterbox here. Just walked past St John the Baptist Church. Just by Church Lane here. There is said church. What's left of the embers of the evening. Here we have a shot of the castle in the twilight. The flag is flying, so presumably Her Majesty's at home. Yep. Even the shopping mall's got a touch of class about it. Dating from 1897 there. And there we have an appropriately named pub. Parting shot of the castle as we approach the riverside station. So here we are. Back at Riverside Station after a very pleasant 10 miler officially. It's just gone 4 o'clock, so 5 hours undertaken there. As I say, shame about the rain towards the end, but I think I've got most features of that walk in, which is a very good winter's walk. Or any time of the year really. Semi-urban, so not too urban to displease me though, so book 1, walk 18, completed. Now I've got about 10 minutes to wait for my train back. Not bad at all. Lovely.